probably started on me, right?
Yes.
I'm Corey Holmes, and I'm with the stars of the show, Brandon Marshall and Ashley Nicole Moss. And actually, later on, we'll be joined by our basketball contributor, Stephen Stak5 Jackson. We got a real basketball-heavy show for you today, but we have to start with the breaking news of the day. Derek Carr to the Saints. Now, according to reports, the New Orleans Saints are finalizing a deal, of course, to land free agent quarterback Derek Carr. Now, he chose the Saints over the New York Jets and the Carolina Panthers. Now, guys, I got to ask you, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, first, welcome back. This is week 2. Is this week 2?
It says week 2.
This is week 2 of Paper Route. We're YouTubers. We're really doing this. And then also, you hear Corey over there, Ashley. Welcome back. He sounds like a real traditional host.
He's college educated.
Look at him.
I'm getting there, man. Corey,
where'd you go to school?
I actually went to the University of Notre Dame. I'm a Golden Dome.
No way.
I did.
Got his degree.
You went to journalism school there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
Very
I
cool.
got my undergrad in film and television, and then I actually got my master's in journalism. So
very cool.
You can't say I'm an educated.
I like that.
So Corey, great job.
J school graduates here, and then there's Brandon.
Boo. I went to school for football, but let's jump into it. The question was, what are our thoughts on Derek Carr signing with the Saints? My initial reaction is like, what the hell are you doing? Right? Because I've been advocating for Woody Johnson to sign Derek Carr, for him to be the first option, Jimmy Garoppolo to be the second option, and Aaron Rodgers to be the third, because of how this team is set up and defensively they're just ready. That's where the strength lies on your team, is right over there. And I wanted him to take a pay cut. That's what I wanted to. I want to take a little pay cut, incentivize it, add some escalators in it, and earn it. But you're going to be sitting there hoisting the Lombardi if you chose the Jets. So my initial reaction is that he made the wrong decision. But if you really look at this, and if I'm being honest, he made the right decision. He did what was best for him. And then also, it's probably the easier path in the playoffs, to the playoffs, right? Because when you look at the AFC East, you have the Buffalo Bills. They're there, all right? Now, I don't think they're going to be as good as they were last year and the years before. They got a lot of things going on internally. Leslie Frazier's no longer a defensive coordinator, right? What's going to happen with potentially Stephon Diggs? Last time we saw Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen, I saw this picture right here. What does that mean? What's going on there, right? Trayvon Diggs liked Ashley Nicole Moss' tweet when she said.
How did you say my name?
Because
how did you say my name?
Ashley Nicole Moss.
Oh, okay, I just wanted some clarity. It sounds a little, jumbled there.
Right. So you have the Patriots in the AFC East, and then you have the Miami Dolphins. I'm not saying Derek Carr is afraid of competition. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the easier path is probably going down to New Orleans, right? Because you look at this division. Tampa Bay, who just retired. The GOAT just retired. There's no Tom Brady. You go over to Carolina, a team that he was flirting with. There's no quarterback there. And then also the Atlanta Falcons, they just released their quarterback. They don't have a quarterback. So now you have the New Orleans Saints sitting here with the top flight defense in an easy division. Derek Carr won. Derek Carr made the right decision. And I hate to say it because I wanted him to go to the New York Jets. I felt like he could have been a quarterback for the next 5-6 years, held it down, and rode his way to the Hall of Fame, rode his way to the history books in the NFL, Ashley. So when you look at this, I like this for Derek Carr. I love this for the New Orleans Saints. They're defensively, when you look at them in yards, they're giving up 314 yards a game. They're fifth in the NFL. Passing D, they're second in the NFL. Rushing D is where they need a little help. They need to stop the run a little bit more because they find themselves at the bottom of the pack. And then points per game. They're only giving up 20 points per game. And then on the offensive side, they got Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave. Michael Thomas probably won't be there. They got Taysom and they got JJ at the tight end position. This team is a really good team. this team is going to have an easy route to the playoffs. So, Ashley, my initial thoughts, was disappointment. But when I look at this, he won. He did a good job.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think top 10 defense in the NFL. It might be one of, if not the best defense Derek Carr has ever played with. So that's going to be fun for him. I think that they could win the division 9-8. That's my expectation for the team. Maybe
9-8.
9-8.
I just told you the division's terrible.
Yeah, but you don't just play division games.
That's true. That's true. That's true. You got me,
I would give them like a 9-8 win record for the next season, for this upcoming season. My only concern is a little bit of the offense. You mentioned you're going to probably lose Michael Thomas. That offensive line can be a little bit hit or miss sometimes, and Derek Carr tends to not do well under the collapse of the pocket and things like that. So that's my only concern for him offensively. But I think, like you said, he is going to go ahead and reap the benefits of not the strongest division,
right,
and not the most competition within that division. So I don't see them having a problem getting out of it at all. They'll easily win it.
Good decision for Derek Carr.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great decision. The team's not perfect offensively, like I'm mentioning. There's some holes, there's some gaps. Defensively, we just spoke about it, top 10 in the NFL. So that's going to be a big difference maker for him. And again, it's not, he's not going to the NFC East.
Yep.
He's not going to a more competitive division where you have to worry about teams that are a little bit more complete on both ends of the field. It's pretty much a cakewalk.
And he gets more money, right?
Because it's going to the Jets, $70 million guaranteed, right?
Yeah, that's probably the difference. Well, I don't know. Did the numbers come out?
Yeah, so I'm looking at it right now.
So Derek Carr is going to get more money when it comes to this deal and him making this move.
Yeah.
The Jets wasn't going to give it to him.
For the people who don't know what the deal is, let me go ahead and break that down for them. The Saints and Derek Carr agreed on a 4-year deal for $150 million with $100 million in guarantees. He'll get $70 million effectively fully guaranteed, $60 million at bonus, another $10 million in year 3, vesting after year 1. And he structured his deal to accommodate the Saints' cap issues. So.
Yeah, the Saints are $50 million above cap right now. The cap is expected to go from, I believe, $208 million to maybe $220. So that will help and alleviate some stress. But they definitely have to get savvy. I think yesterday they knew this was happening yesterday because there was reports also that came out that Derek Carr is leaning to the Jets. Right, and then you saw that they restructured the Mario Davis deal and also Taysom Hill, their quarterback / tight ender / player. So they still have to make a little bit more room to get this done. But I like the Saints. I love what they have in DeMario. I love what they have in Cam Jordan. Their coach is a defensive guy.
Yeah.
Derek Carr is going to be able to come in and put his touch on this offense. Really good deal for Derek Carr. And that's bad news for the Jets. But we still got Jimmy G. Though. Listen, I know it's still. I'm going to say it again. Go get Jimmy G. Aaron Rodgers is out there. Don't panic. Woody. Go get Jimmy G. Now, if Jimmy G, I told you this, Hollywood and Corey.
First of all,
bring your mom down.
Pause for 1 second. Hollywood has some audacity sitting across from me in Atlanta Hawks t-shirt. Like, why are you in here wearing that shirt in my presence? I'm a Knicks fan. Like, have some respect.
Trey.
Just, go ahead, though.
But no, I'm gonna finish up here, and then we're gonna bring in Stephen Jackson,
who would never wear a Hawks shirt in my presence. So I'm not quite sure.
He lives in Atlanta. We'll get his thoughts on that.
Oh, you know what? He does live in Atlanta.
Can we fact check this? I should know this. Did he play for the Hawks? Did Stephen Jackson play for the Hawks? No, he didn't.
Let's stay on track.
Okay, anyways.
Derek Carr.
Here we go. Derek Carr, Woody Johnson, the Jets. All right, don't panic. We're still in good position. You have a team in a nucleus that you can run with for the next 6 years. The Buffalo Bills are about to implode. I really feel that. No one's scared of the Patriots anymore. It's all it's going to come down to is who's going to mess it up. All right, situational football. You got the Miami Dolphins. They're not going anywhere, but you got to see what's going to happen at the quarterback position in Tua. Is Tua going to be able to make it through an entire season, an entire game? Is he? I like the Jets. So Jimmy G, Come down here, South Florida. Corey from the Cut, his mom got some holy oil. She's going to rub some holy oil all over your ankles, your knees, your hips, your shoulders, your fingers, all of that. And you're going to be able to lead us through this entire season. This is going to be the first time Jimmy G plays a full season. And he's going to be sitting there looking at San Francisco like you should have kept me. You should have kept me. So that's what we're going to do. I'm done with this topic.
Is it holy oil?
What did I say? Holy water?
You said holy oil. It's holy water.
No, it's holy. See, you don't go to church.
I'm Catholic. It's holy water. Like,
Corey,
what do you mean?
Corey, explain. Right. Corey, explain.
Holy water, holy oil. I mean, yeah, he's gonna need both of them. All right. Anyways,
I've never heard of holy oil before.
He gonna need both of them. Y'all ready to talk basketball?
Interesting.
Well, I know Ashley's ready to talk basketball.
I'm always ready to talk basketball. Is Brandon ready? Did he do his research?
I know more basketball than you and Stack put together. That's for sure. Just because he played in the NBA don't mean he know more basketball than me.
I'm not even going to dignify that with a response.
All right, we'll see.
He's lost his mind.
We got to bring on our basketball contributor, all right? We got a former NBA champion joining us. We got Stephen Stak5 Jackson. What's up, Stack?
What's up, family?
What's up, Stack? Long time no see.
Look at that.
How y'all doing?
Yo, Stack coming through in the flight room. Like, what's going on here?
Right, that's a whole setup.
Can I get a pair of ones? Gosh.
Flight club. My bad. I said flight room. That was crazy.
Are those is that for decoration or do you wear them?
Yeah, I wear. I mean, I've been sponsored by Jordan for a while right now, so shout out to Team Jordan for always keeping me. I didn't buy none of these. All this is free. That's why I have them.
Right. So are you still with Jordan brand?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
Wow. As a retired player, there's only a few players that still have deals.
Carmelo's one of them.
Carmelo. Yep. You have Allen Iverson.
Yes.
Shaq
Mike Bibby.
Mike Bibby. He do?
With Jordan, yeah. Mike was one of the first ones with Jumpman.
Wow. Oh, that's what they do with Jumpman. They keep y'all forever? Y'all work. That's
certain guys, Quentin Richardson, Darius Miles, certain guys that Mike got relationships with. He take good care of us.
I love it. Well, listen, bro. Excited, man, to have you on the show. Talk a little bit of basketball. I know you like boxing and you talk football as well. I don't know if you want to step in that ring with me. You might want to stay right here on the court. What?
Nothing.
What? Stack, you think I can talk basketball with you?
Man, hey, B, I respect you enough to respect your opinion on anything, my brother.
You don't gotta lie to him.
Yeah, Stack Vietnam.
I'm not even gonna put him on blast to say what he said in our production meeting this morning. It was egregious.
Tell him. You can tell him.
This man said he would take prime Paul Pierce over Giannis any day.
That wasn't.
I said I was respect his opinion. I didn't say it was gonna make sense to me. I said I respect it.
Facts. Go ahead, Corey.
All right. So actually, where we're gonna start is with one of the bigger stories of the weekend, right? So, Memphis Grizzlies star point guard Ja Morant, right? The initial report said that he was gonna be suspended 2 games. And if you're not familiar with the situation, he was displaying a handgun on his Instagram Live, right? And again, he was originally given 2 games suspension, but now reports are saying that he's gonna be suspended indefinitely, right? So basically, just want to ask you guys, right? Like, of this situation, like what does John need to take away from it?
Well, I first want to clarify. I think that the additional time he's gonna be away from the team, I think is a self decision. Taylor Jenkins, head coach of the Memphis Grizzlies, came out and said that there's no timetable for his return. I don't think that's league given. I think that's Ja really taking time for himself to kind of figure out, what he needs to do to be better. But I will say this, I've had the privilege of meeting Ja Morant a few times and being in his presence, and I want to preface this by saying he's a really, really good person. I've seen him tip, somebody $600 for a $50 bill. Like, he has a good heart. He's still very young, and I think he's figuring life out, and I think he's figuring things out. None of us are perfect. I think that, the difference between athletes and regular people is that they do it under a scrutinizing spotlight. With that said, heavy is the head that wears the crown, and he has a lot of responsibility, and he's a walking business. He's a walking brand. He's one of the faces of the NBA. And sometimes that pressure and it happening so quickly is not something that's easily dealt with. And I know that people have a lot of opinions on his persona and what's true, what's not true, how he's grown up, how he hasn't grown up, if he's perpetrating a fraud, things like that. But I think that it's also important to remember that at the end of the day, this is a person. And he came out and said in a statement that he needs to learn how to manage his stresses better. And what that means to me is that he uses outside sources, whether that's drinking, whether that's partying, whether that's the tough guy persona, to mask maybe stresses and insecurities that he may have as a rising star in this league. So I think it's very important to approach this story with that level of sensitivity. You can have your opinions, you can have your thoughts, and everyone's entitled to them. But some of the things that have been unfortunate for me to see in the past few days are people making assumptions about what he's affiliated with, what he's doing, what he's not doing. And I think that in every story, especially when people are involved, there should be a level of grace given and a level of understanding given that we're not perfect. People make mistakes. That's not justifying what he's done. And that's not, overriding the fact that he deserved to be punished. And he was suspended. And I think it's also important to remember, though, that he may be dealing with things that we don't see. There are things lying under the surface that everybody, from the outside looking in, he's a star basketball player, just got his own signature shoe. He's the face of the Memphis Grizzlies. He makes all this money. His life should be perfect. And if we know anything about mental health and stresses and things like that, that's not always the case. And I just want people to remember you can't selectively choose when to be an advocate or when to stand on that soapbox of prioritizing athletes.
I was going to jump in here and respond to, your point on mental health, but we have Stak here, right? So I think the audience want to hear more from Stak on this than me right now. Stak, on y'all popular show, Dope Show, All the Smoke, you guys talked about this weeks ago. I mean, you guys were ahead of this. And you talked about, what he needs to do is make sure the guys around him aligns with his vision.
Absolutely.
So that's what you said a while ago before this. Has anything changed for you? Would you say anything different today?
No, bro. I mean, I've been in this situation, bro. I've made mistakes, in the strip club when I was in Indiana, protecting the teammate. And people judged me, because I had the brawl in that situation happen back-to-back years. So people judged me and immediately counted me out and called me a thug and just said all these things about me, but I knew I wasn't that. And I wasn't even close to being the face of the league like Ja Morant is. So I just, from my side of it is I'm speaking from experience. A lot of people can say a lot of things, but my advice to him is to just, it's a mistake, bro. And every time you make a mistake, you have to learn from it. And that's what matters most, what you do after the mistake. He's a young kid. Everybody made mistakes at 23 years old. Everybody just not a millionaire with cameras on them. We all make mistakes at 23. So I want him to understand that, yeah, it's a mistake, but don't let the world beat you down and make you think that this is the world coming to an end for you. You made a mistake, deal with it. And, because shots actually went off, what I'm saying, when I was involved in my situation. Right. It was just him showing one on the Instagram, and he just had a couple of situations off the court, which is starting to get too much. I think he's going to get a hold of himself. He's a smart kid, just like she said. He understands what's at stake. I think his dad needs to speak up more and be more of a mentor and a guide than a fan and a friend to him right now. I think a lot of people see that. And for me, he's a great kid. He's going to be all right. I wasn't finna come from the side of kicking the kid while he's down, because I've been in that situation. I know you need support, and I know he's not that type of kid. So keep your head up, Ja, man. It's a mistake. What matters most is what you do after, and I think he's going to come back and find colors.
Love that.
Yeah, and I think people fail to realize that two things can be true at the same time. That Ja may need better people around him. He may, everybody may be getting lost in the sauce a little bit. As you know, Stak, Brandon, as you know, when you come from a certain environment, and this is not to go ahead and dissect where Ja's from, where he's not from, when you just come from an environment of not having, and all of a sudden everything in the world that you could ever want and imagine is now at your feet. you know, people get lost in that sometimes. The clubs you couldn't get into before, now you just walk in. You know, the restaurants you couldn't get a reservation for, now you can get it. The girls you couldn't get before, now all of a sudden want you. People get lost in that. So two things can be true. He can be getting lost,
Right.
and the people around him can be getting lost in that. But on the other side of that, there may be real underlying issues and stresses that he is not dealing with well. And it's better to acknowledge those things now than down the line when it's too hard to correct those behaviors. You know, you look at all these instances, it's a domino effect. People just don't go out of their way allegedly beating up teenage kids because of a pickup basketball game. You know, people just don't go around waving guns and hanging out, you know, shirtless in the strip club. There are things that are not normal behavior. That does not negate that the behavior is not correct, and that does not negate the fact that as an NBA player, you're held to a different standard than a regular person. But that also doesn't negate the fact there may be some serious underlying issues there that I think people are ignoring and focusing more on the actions than what may also lie underneath. Two things can be true at the same time.
Well, you guys know I'm a champion for mental health, right? And big advocate. I've been raising awareness on this topic for over 10 years now. And I will say this, all right? I don't think this is some type of mental health challenge. I don't think this is some type of disorder. I don't think he needs to go to a McLean hospital the way I did for 3 months in an outpatient program and go through dialectical behavior therapy, or, you know, go through a neurological evaluation or clinical evaluation. What this is to me, Stack, this is a behavioral challenge, right? This is, if it is a disorder, it's, you know what, I'm young, I got money, I got freedom, I got access, and I'm learning how to deal with this. So I do love how we're handling these conversations right now. Jalen Rose, to me, handled it the best, right? Because we see a lot of athletes, professional athletes, transition to TV, and we go out there and we act like our shit don't stink. We go out there and we act like we never sat in those seats, right? Shannon Sharp was one of those guys that came out, you know, a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't know where he was coming from. Obviously, he had some type of information, because I was like, where is he coming from with this Jaws trying to be a thug and Jaw this and Jaw that? You know, obviously there was this situation with the laser, and there was a situation with the sideline and all those other things, but you could tell he had more information. I felt like he didn't respect the fraternity of the player, meaning like, we know we all made mistakes. So I love how Stack is handling the situation today. I love, Ashley, what you just said. But the reality is we do have a responsibility as the OGs of the game to actually hold our guys accountable. But it's how we do it publicly, right? Like, if you're not willing to pick up the phone and call a dude and say, yo, let me help you, or this, maybe you should think about it this way, then you don't need to say anything publicly. If you're not willing to just message a guy or try to infiltrate his camp somehow and say, listen, like, I've been through these situations, you need to keep your mouth shut. But from a public standpoint, we do have to have the conversation around accountability, right? Like, we've all been there. I've lost over $100 million in career earnings, whether it's through contracts on the football field or brand deals, because I got in trouble in my 20s. Ja Morant, you can't afford to do this, right? As parents, Stack, as parents, our job is to make sure our children are better than us, right? There's an argument that we have that same responsibility as players, right? So, like, Ja shouldn't be making these mistakes because Allen Iverson made those mistakes. Ja shouldn't be making these mistakes because you made those mistakes. Ja shouldn't be making those mistakes because I made those mistakes. Adam Pac-Man Jones made those mistakes. Stack, right? Every generation is supposed to get better. We have this information. Social media is everywhere. Like, you can't do that. Like, that was a bonehead decision. And hopefully, Ashley, like you said, he's taking his time and he's actually really working on himself and reevaluating everything. So, Stack, my question to you is, what responsibility do we have as professional athletes, former pro athletes, to actually have this conversation publicly? And how do we do it?
Well, one, you got to put the blame on the NBA. The NBA has pushed the veteran guys out. When I came in the league, when I was on San Antonio team, yeah, you had me, Ginobili, Tony Parker, Speedy Claxton. You had Malik Rose and Tim Duncan, young guys. But we had a crazy core of veterans that was 1 year away from retiring. Steve Smith, Kevin Willis, David Robinson, Steve Kerr, Danny Ferry. And I'm saying that to say We had guys in the league that was mentoring us. They knew it was our time to shine. They was on the bench, but they still was giving us game. We had veterans to help us along the way. They don't have that in the NBA now. The only vet in the league right now is UD down in Miami. Miami know what they're doing. They keeping them there for the right reason, to mentor guys, to be there to help the coach these guys and relate to these young guys. Teams don't have that. We had that coming in, and when we made mistakes, we was held accountable. Our teammates held us accountable. When I got in trouble in Indiana, Reggie Miller held me accountable. Jermaine O'Neal held me accountable. You know what I mean? So they don't have that in the league right now. So a lot of these guys don't have leadership. They're actually learning by experience, and a lot of times that's not good, B. That's not good at all, because you make a lot of mistakes, and sometimes you can't come back from them. I was blessed to be able to come back from mine, and that's what we telling Ja. Okay, Ja, yeah, you made a couple mistakes, my guy, but now it's time to pull everything in. Now I'm starting to get the right people around you and make the right mistakes, because you got to remember, you just got to shoot. You could be the face of the year, face of the league in a year or two. You got a lot of great things going on. Your team right now is sliding. If your team is sliding right now, and the way with KD going to the Suns and all this, y'all not looking as good as y'all supposed to look in the West. Y'all don't make the playoffs, it's going to look worse on Ja. Even if he come out and play well, everything he had going on going to look like they put a cloud on the team to say they wasn't playing well. So he has to get out this funk now. I don't think, and you know what, to me, you said it wasn't about mental health, B. That's why I spoke out about it, because I've been there. When I got into my little situation in the brawl, they tried to make me say I need to go see somebody and talk to somebody. Listen, I wasn't crazy when I went to them stands. I was in my right mind. If everybody look at the tape, I ran up to the stands to grab Ron. But when I grabbed him to get out the stand, somebody threw another beer in his face. So I was sane. I knew exactly what I was doing. So I didn't need to talk to nobody about helping my teammate. He know the mistakes he's made. He don't need to talk to nobody. He just needs to make the right decisions for his life and for his career and for his child that's always at the games, that beautiful child he has. Make the decisions for them and stop being so selfish. That's what it all comes down to. John's being real selfish right now. He needs to think about the people that's dependent on him. He needs to think about the gifts God gave him, the position he's in that people would die to be in, and look at that and look in the mirror, understand, bro, you're ruining a great position that you have. Everybody would die to be in your shoes. Take care of your child, play basketball, be one of the all-time greats that you possibly could be, and let everything else handle itself. But now at this point, you don't need to talk to nobody. You need to look in the mirror and understand what's at stake.
But I think that if he is not, let me first clarify. I don't want to say that it's a mental health issue, and if that's the implication of my words,
no, it wasn't.
Okay, let me just make sure I clarify that.
No, not at all, not at all. I was just saying that because B said that. Because B said they tried to get him to speak to people when he had his little situation.
I do think though that when you go from, like I said, having nothing to having everything, sometimes that. Some people don't know how to manage that, and before it starts in an NBA locker room, before we start talking about vets, I think. It starts at home, and it starts with Ja, and that's a point that I think we can all agree on. I think that most importantly, something that I learned very, very young, and my parents instilled this in me, and, as athletes, this is kind of, you want to take everybody with you. But one thing I learned, everybody can't come. Some people are not meant to see past the season with you. Some people are liabilities and not assets. And I think that Ja may have to do some self-reflecting of the people around him and say, who's adding to where I am at this point in my life and who's subtracting. And whoever is taking and not giving can't stay, because there's too much on the line. There's too much that you have worked for to go ahead and risk it just so that you can say you have your day ones with you. Sometimes your day ones are the worst people to be around you. But sometimes your day ones don't want the best for you, because I can tell you right now, if your day ones were your day ones with the best intentions for you, when they saw you waving that gun shirtless in the strip club, they would have taken that phone from you like that. Been like, bro, what are you doing? We're not doing that.
But that's
stop.
Listen.
And the fact that they didn't, the fact that nobody pulled that phone from him or took that gun from him should be a light bulb in his head and say, who do I have around me?
Because we miss those opportunities, Ashley and Stack, right? Like, I want to say this. First off, having these conversations publicly actually expedites the process of him getting it. and all these other players, include like even me back in the day. When you're sitting there and you're seeing the world talk about you, you're on the ticker. That's a surreal moment, man. That's an out of body experience when you're like, God damn, everybody's talking about me right now. So it forces you to look in the mirror. So hopefully this is a defining moment for him. I will say this. I think social media, there's a huge conflict of what a brand is today, right? Because back in the day, Stack, before there was a TikTok and Instagram and a Twitter and a Facebook and all of that, players, there were certain things that we didn't say or do. That's why Allen Iverson was so dynamic and different, because he actually was one of the first to actually just walk in his true, authentic self. But what happens is you jeopardize your career earnings, or being able to maximize your career earnings, and also brands, because brands don't want to see that. A gun, like a lot of us got guns.
Right.
A lot of us say the things that he's saying on Instagram, but these athletes today, this generation, Stack, bro, like they be saying the craziest things, doing the wildest things on social.
But Ja, like, you're the leader of the pack. This is your crew. This is your entity. Yeah. This is your business. You decide who stays and who goes. You hire and fire. And I don't mean that literally. I mean, you are in charge of the brand of John Morant. And if someone is a liability to that enterprise, if they are not an asset, if they are not adding to your life in a way that's conducive for all the things you want to accomplish, that you want for your family, that you want for your daughter, they have to go. And that doesn't make you not down. That doesn't make you not cool. That doesn't make you, you Hollywood now. That makes you somebody who prioritizes everything that they have worked for before anything and everything else. At this stage of my life, at 30 years old, if you are not adding to my life, if you are taking my energy, if you are jeopardizing opportunities, or if you are just not a healthy person for me to have around me, you have to go. And Ja, you have a lot more to lose than the people that you surround yourself with. Move, hire, rehire, fire accordingly. And nobody can tell you otherwise. You are the leader of the pack, not them.
Yep. Well said. Well said. All right, guys, we're going to move on. It was a playoff atmosphere in Dallas over the weekend, right? Yesterday, now the Phoenix Suns recorded their third straight victory with KD in the lineup, right? Now Durant scored 37 points, including the go-ahead shot that lifted the Phoenix Suns to 130 to 126 victory over the Dallas Mavericks. Now, it was notably the first matchup between Durant and Kyrie, before the two were traded away from Brooklyn. But one of the bigger storylines in the game was that Durant and Booker, right, were the fourth pair in Suns history to record 35-plus points. Now, KD finished the game 37 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Booker, 36 points, 5 rebounds, 10 assists. Now,
Cookbook.
And I don't know if you guys noticed, but Booker, right, ever since KD has been involved in the game, he's gone for 35, 36, and 37. Now, that's crazy. Now, but Stack, I want to start with you first, right? Now, is the West the Suns to lose, right? Like, who's the biggest challenge that the Suns face in the West?
Nah, it's up to them to lose it, man. They got everything, every piece of the puzzle. It's crazy that the Suns were able to make that trade and keep Ayton, Chris Paul, and Devin Booker. I mean, that's just crazy. And add KD, a guy like KD, you're looking at the Golden State Warriors all again with a big man. I think Dallas is a good team, but, they don't have enough. They're entertaining. They can score a lot of points, but they don't have enough to be a championship team right now. They're missing a couple pieces. Phoenix has everything, and adding KD, if he can stay healthy, the Western Conference is theirs to win.
Ashley?
Yeah, we had this conversation last week, Stack, and I said that Kevin Durant is going to reap the benefits of being part of this Phoenix Suns team more than, say, a Devin Booker, because he's not going to have to do as much, because you have somebody who is as dedicated to the game, who plays as many games as you do, or at least tries to, who can go ahead and maybe not do, the Kevin Durant magic on the court, but Devin Booker is an assassin. He's the mid-range assassin, as we like to call it. And it's going to, I feel like, just help prolong Kevin Durant's career, because you don't have to play him 45-plus minutes a game like he was having to do in Brooklyn when Kyrie decided he wasn't going to play or he was suspended. Ben Simmons is hurt. You had all these other situations in Brooklyn that kind of drains a lot of Kevin Durant's remaining youth that I don't think is going to be a problem in Phoenix. If anything, we might see it turn back the hands of time a little bit. It may give him some years in reverse.
So Stack, let me ask you this, right? I'm sitting here looking. I'm on ESPN.com. I'm looking at the standings here, and you have. Let me get back to it. You have the Denver Nuggets sitting here in first place. Then you have the Memphis.
Soon-to-be MVP Jokic.
Oh, stop it! Not yet, not yet. Then you have the Memphis Grizzlies, Sacramento Kings. What team could potentially push them? Right, like you said, that it's theirs to lose, right? But what team could potentially push them? Is it Ja and the Memphis Grizzlies? If Ja get his head right?
The Grizzlies are always dangerous. I mean, they're a tough-minded team. I don't think they have enough offense when the game slows down. In the playoffs, the game slows down. You have preseason, you have regular season, you have first round, second round. It goes to a different level every round you go to. And I don't think Memphis has enough on the offensive side. Phoenix has everything, man. It's gonna take a team kind of like, I would say, Denver, with a guy like Jokic, with a guy that can really just take over a game, because the game slows down, and that's when Jokic really dominates. He's been dominating all year, but having him in the playoffs with Murray healthy and Gordon playing well, that's a scary team that can give Phoenix some problems. But like I said, if Golden State not healthy, if Golden State can't get healthy, I don't see nobody really giving Phoenix a chance.
I want to ask you, I mean, in that game against the Suns and the Mavs, you know, Luka and Devin Booker were going at it. Now, they have a little bit of a history, you know, that infamous meme of Luka looking at Devin Booker and Devin Booker not making eye contact. Yet last night or yesterday afternoon, they got in each other's face a little bit.
That was so soft.
People were saying that Devin Booker is feeling himself a little bit more because he has Kevin Durant. But isn't that the game? When you have one of the greatest players in the world on your team, don't you walk around with a little bit more swag and you talk a little bit more trash? I'm here for it. I loved it.
Well, for all the people who's saying that, you haven't been watching basketball. Devin Booker came in the game with this swag. He had the same swag in college. He been killing in the NBA for a while. So this swag is nothing new. But I tell you one thing: if I had this swag and I was an all-star and I had Kevin Durant coming to my team, you best believe I'm finna pop my other collar the same way I popped the other one.
I know that's
Trust
right.
me.
Yo, Ashley, who do you think is the star of this team? Is it Book or is it KD? Yo, KD.
You know what?
Don't start that, B.
I don't think, I think it's nice. Everybody knows that Kevin Durant is not somebody who he doesn't enjoy that leadership role. He's spoken about it. He says, I'm not a role model. I'm not a leader. I'm a teammate. You know, if you need me, I'm here for you. If not, these are grown men. I'm not going to tell them what to do. So I think he's going to flourish in this situation because you have somebody who has a work ethic from the school of Kobe Bryant, like Devin Booker. You have a vet that's going to go down as one of the greatest point guards of all time with Chris Paul. You have a bunch of young guys who want to win, are hungry to win.
Did you answer the question?
I don't think.
Did you answer the question? There is an answer.
There is no star.
It's either Book or it's KD.
There's no star to this team. I don't think there's a star. I think they're a tandem, just like JT and JB in Boston. You got KD and Book in Phoenix.
Tatum is the guy. Jason Tatum is the guy. So on this team, Stack, who's the guy? Is it Book?
Don't answer that.
No, is it Book or is it KD?
Hey, I'm just gonna tell you this: if KD is in Alaska, Tibet, Church League, YMCA League, he's the guy.
He's the guy. Bro.
It's probably KD. It is KD. It's true. It's Kevin Durant.
All right, what we got next, Corey?
All right, so we're going to go back to Saturday night, right, when the Bucks actually got their 16-game winning streak snapped by the 76ers. So it was late in the game, right? It was 125 to 121. The Sixers were down 4. James Harden hit a three-pointer, right, to bring them within 1. Antetokounmpo went down to the other end, missed a shot, and who came back and sank the go-ahead shot? Joel Embiid, right? So the two superstars for the 76ers. MVP. Go ahead, finish though. So it was the superstars coming in clutch for the 76ers, right? Now they were down at least 18 points in the third, so it was a good performance for the 76ers nonetheless. But guys, question: can the 76ers make a late push for the number 1 seed?
No. No.
They could try, but they could try, but it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, right. It's not gonna happen. I mean, good luck, but it's not. I mean, Milwaukee and Boston. Yeah, I know Boston. They lost to my New York Knicks last night in double OT. We'll get into that a little bit later, but that is still a really good basketball team. The Bucks are rolling. I think their win streak they're a 16-game win streak right now. I mean, there's too much ground for Philly to make up. They would have to win out. I mean, they're 4.5 games back. I don't see them winning, going on this insane win streak with less than 20 games left of the season.
Why not?
I just don't. I don't
Why not?
see it.
Stack, they're 4.5 games back. Boston lose to the Nets. I like the Nets, but there's no KD, no Kyrie. Boston lose to the Knicks.
That means
I know you want to talk.
That means that they would have to continue to win, and Milwaukee would have to lose. Like, you're asking for a lot of things to happen here.
Stack, we're gonna talk about this later. We're gonna talk about this later in the show. But James Harden,
Oh,
God. You mean to tell me if the beard is back, them boys can't go on a crazy run? Stack, come on, man. I like Philly to potentially close the gap. It's going down. Joel Embiid, the MVP.
They can make a crazy run, B, but like she said, Boston and Milwaukee is not coming out both of those slots.
Right.
It's not going to happen, bro. It's just not going to happen.
Yo, what's up with you two teaming up on me?
We're basketball heads. We know how this works.
Me too.
It's not enough time. If we were having this conversation, say January, maybe that's a little bit more. But in March, it's not happening.
And Tatum's the MVP, so get that right.
Whoa.
Wow. Explain yourself.
Whoa.
Boston been the best team in the league damn near the whole season.
Okay.
With the best record damn near the whole season. Wow, MVP is a regular season award.
Okay, this caught me off guard. Can we go to the stats and the standings? So you are right, Boston.
See, okay, let me answer a question, and this is why I say over Jokic, right? Okay, from my experience of being around the game, Steve Nash won back-to-back, and they didn't even make it to the finals. They didn't got a championship.
Right.
You can't keep giving it, even though it's a regular season award, you can't keep giving this guy MVP, and his team can't even make it to the Western Conference Finals. Like, you got to give it to somebody who's dominating all year when you know that his team has a chance to go to the finals. Jason Tatum just came from the finals.
Why doesn't Denver have a chance to go to the finals? They've been in the top seed the entire season in the West.
No, I'm saying they haven't. He's been MVP the last 2 years, and they haven't.
No, but I'm saying this season, the Nuggets have a chance to go to the Western Conference Finals. We don't know if it will happen, but they have a chance just like Boston has a chance to go.
No, but I'm saying they said that the last 2 years when he won MVP. So they're gonna keep giving him an MVP for dominating regular season, and this team
it's a regular season award, Stack. It's a regular season award.
You're right. But you have to at least give it to a guy who's able to dominate all regular season, and we know that his team has a good chance of being at least the Western Conference Finals.
Well, let me ask you, because there has been a conversation that has, risen in basketball discourse about Jokic possibly being on the verge of three-peating the MVP award, and if there's different level of expectation for what he does in the postseason versus a Jason Tatum or a Joel Embiid. Some people say no, because the Nuggets are expected to go to the Western Conference Finals. They just haven't been. It's not like the expectation's not there. The expectations also for Luka. He just, has his situations as well. So I want to ask you, do you think there's truth to that? Are there different expectations for Jokic than, say, a Joel Embiid or a Jason Tatum when it comes to the MVP award?
I mean, like I said, I understand that he's been dominant. I don't want to take anything away from him because I'm a fan of Jokic, so I don't want to take anything away from him. But as a player, when I played, I was on the team with the MVP, Tim Duncan, right? Okay. When Tim Duncan won MVP, not only did we have best record in the league, but we had coach of the year and we won the NBA championship. Tim dominated that whole season, but going into the playoffs, everybody in the league knew that this team had a great chance of winning the championship. Right. They don't say that with Jokic every year. They say, okay, yeah, the Nuggets are good. We'll see them in the playoffs. They don't have them as one of the top teams when they talk about coming home with that trophy. And I'm saying if you're going to give a guy this trophy 3 years straight with all the players that's been having great years in the league, and this team is still not making it to the Western Conference Finals, what is that saying about the people who's voting for him for this award? You can't know the game of basketball because this is not fair to the guys who dominating all season, then taking their team to the Western Conference Finals, and or to the finals and raising that trophy at the end.
It's hard
What's the
for
reward
me.
for that?
It's hard for me to bet against a center who's averaging triple doubles this season.
Yep.
Like, it's hard for me to do that. This man dropped triple doubles.
So why gotta have that same energy for Russell Westbrook when everybody's saying he was stat padding? We didn't have that same energy for Russell Westbrook when he was doing it.
I don't think that these guys are stat padding. I don't think NBA players, are out there. I think NBA players are more focused on winning chips than they are MVP award. Yes,
no.
We could have gave it to Russell Westbrook maybe 4 years straight if that's the case.
I will say this though. I do feel like the criteria for MVP is constantly moving, which is what makes this award so infamous every single season. It's because it seems like, I think about, back when Steph Curry and the Warriors were sitting at the 9th seed and he was dropping crazy numbers night in and night out. And all of a sudden, he's in the MVP conversation. And it's like, hold on, wait a second. You guys have justified not giving it to Dame, who was dropping the same numbers, but the Portland Trailblazers weren't a top seed. They weren't winning. The goalpost is constantly moving. The criteria is way too fluid. And I definitely think that's a problem. There has to be a singular criteria. And if you do not fall into that, you're not eligible for the award. I 100% agree with that.
Can we do this really quickly, right? Like, I'm letting you guys have y'all space and go back and forth. I love it. I'm learning a lot. But I do want to push back on Stak. Like, Stak, I feel like your Jason Tatum MVP chant is a bit of a stretch. It's a bit of a stretch. Because when we talk about the goalpost, I thought the goalpost was who's averaging the most amount of points. That's what it usually is. It's a points award.
It's
That's
most
really
valuable
what it is.
Player on a winning team.
And when you look at Jason Tatum, he ain't even top 5, Stak. Like, come on, bro. I feel like it's a bit of a stretch there, man.
What's Denver's record and what's Boston's record?
It ain't too far off. They close. It ain't too far off.
Okay. So not only is his team been number 1 all year, he breaks the All-Star game scoring record, and his team might finish with the best record in the league for the season. How does he? And you say he's not top 5. Well, he's top 10.
He's 6. He's right outside. He's close.
Hey, and he has another star that's in the top 20 on his team.
So you like Jason Tatum over Joel Embiid to win the MVP?
Did you not see
the most dominant player in the NBA the last 3-4 years?
Did you not watch the 76ers and Mavs play each other? The 76ers were cooking with Joel Embiid on the bench. He was in the torture chamber by a 3-finger Luka. That's your MVP?
Okay, but you know who my MVP is? She's talking about Stak. Hold on. She's talking about Joker. When they went head to head a couple weeks ago, Joel Embiid dropped 47 on him. What are we talking about?
I'm not sold on Joker like that. I love Embiid way more.
I would definitely say that if we're in an MVP conversation, it's between Tatum, Giannis, and Jokic before you get it to Embiid. Those are the top 3.
I agree.
Embiid is not in the top 3 when we're having this MVP conversation this year. I'm sorry.
Wow.
It's not.
Corey from the cut. What we got, man? They tripping over here.
I was shocked with that last statement there. But all right, let's transition to word on the tweet. So in this segment, right, we'll take a look at some tweets we found on the timeline and give you our thoughts on them.
Nice.
So where we're gonna start? So we're gonna actually revisit the Phoenix Suns conversation, and we have a pair of superstars, right? We're actually just talking about Jason Tatum, and we got Trae Young. So they said, KD really on the Suns? That was Trae Young's tweet, and then Jason Tatum quote retweeted saying, "I just said the same thing." Now, of course, we've seen KD on a couple different teams and whatnot, and I mean he's already basically established himself as one of the top scorers. That was
shady.
I wouldn't say so. It's the time we're in.
Yeah, messy.
Right, but he's already established himself as one of the top scorers of all time, right? But my question is, and I can start with you, Stak. Is KD's best basketball ahead of us?
You know what, bro? I can actually say it is.
Mm-hmm.
He's been through a lot of different storylines on different teams. I think this is going to be the quietest team he's been on, and I think this is the most complete team he's been on. We look at the Golden State team. He had the 2 best shooters, but he has the best mid-range shooter possibly of all time, along with close to Rip Hamilton to me, Devin Booker. You have one of the best point guards, and I mean real point guards that controls the game in Chris Paul. And you have a solid big man in Ayton And you have, I can't forget about his coach, Monty, somebody who's been between those lines, that's been, a coach that's been a winner on both sides of the ball. So he's in the best situation he's been in. He's in a city like Phoenix. There's not really too much going on. I think this is the best situation for KD. You definitely gonna see his best basketball. He's not gonna have to deal with a lot. I think having James Johnson help run that team in the offices, a guy that won a lot of championships with Miami, they're gonna make it real easy for KD because they know he just want to play the game of basketball. He's in a great situation, bro. Like I said, it's up for them to lose it.
Absolutely agree. I think, OKC, we saw baby KD, and then, in the Warriors, we saw championship KD, and then Brooklyn, we saw KD trying to make the situation work KD and just trying to hold down the fort KD. I think that people tend to ignore how beneficial a just functional situation is for an athlete who has an infinite amount of talent like Kevin Durant does. When you are in a situation that allows you to just hoop, to just play basketball, to just focus on the game night in and night out, and you don't have to worry about this one not showing up, and you don't have to worry about, the politics here, you don't have to worry about these two not getting along. That is euphoria for Kevin Durant. All this man wants to do is hoop. He is now in a situation that is going to allow him to do just that. I think that you are going to see a level of Kevin Durant, a focus of Kevin Durant that we have never seen before, because that is all he has to worry about.
And I guess the only thing I can add to this conversation is that KD, we're going to see the most clutch basketball. I don't know about the best basketball because you go back to the Thunder, he's probably in his prime there. You go to, to the Warriors, he's probably in his prime there. He's still, probably the best basketball player in the world. We saw that the last couple of nights.
He was 12 for 17 his last game for damn near 40 points. What do you mean?
But stay with me. So stay with me right here. What I'm talking about is best basketball ahead, meaning over the next few years. I'm talking about right now from a mindset, and you notice that, like his mindset, that killer instinct. That's what I mean by clutch. Like we talk about best basketball, yeah, he can still do anything he want to do, but I'm talking about that killer instinct, that dog mentality, everything that's happened in New York, everything imploding, everything being taken from up under him because of all the other situations. I just feel like he's going to be more locked in than ever, and you're going to see some crazy basketball down the stretch. Even with Booker, like we saw that 2 years ago with Book. He looked like the second coming of Kobe, and we know he loved Kobe. So I just think it's not his best basketball, but his most clutch basketball, if that makes any sense, Stack.
Nah, I feel you to that extent because the game is easier for him. You know what I mean? One thing he'll never have to do is bring the ball up and run a play. One thing he might get some wide open shots too because Booker gets doubled a lot. He don't see that a lot. So he's in a lot of situations. He don't have to play the big man like he was in Brooklyn because they have a big man to get down there and block shots and rebound. He's in the perfect situation, bro, to play great basketball, just have fun, and put up numbers. He's already one of the most efficient players in the league with everything he's been through. And NBA history with everything he's been through. Imagine just showing up to work and saying, give one of the best players to ever touch the ball, just go out there and have fun and play basketball. Yep. He's going to do some amazing shit.
He's a kid in the candy store right now. What you got for us, Corey?
All right, next tweet. So our next tweet is from Skip Bayless.
Ooh.
Oh, God. Okay.
This is Stack's boy. This your boy, ain't it?
I almost want to read it in his voice. But all right, here we go. We got Sixers and Bucks 16-game win streak, right, in Milwaukee. Embiid had 31 and 10 assists, but Harden turned back into James Harden with 38, 20 in the fourth. But people continue to sleep on Doc's team. Keep snoring.
They snoring. Ashley and Stack snoring.
So Ashley, I'm gonna start with you, right? It's like if we get vintage James Harden back, what is the 76ers ceiling? Like how far can they go?
It's hard for me to go ahead and gauge their ceiling because James Harden disappears in the playoffs and it's documented. So it's hard to go ahead and bet against a team that has shown up in the playoffs consistently, like the Milwaukee Bucks, like the well-oiled machine that is the Boston Celtics. I know, once again, they lost to my Knicks in double overtime last night, but that is still a really good basketball team, and we've seen them go almost all the way. So for the 76ers, the ceiling is high if you get James Harden to show up when it means the most. I know Embiid will be there. But will James Harden be there? That's the biggest question. So it's not him playing at a high level. It's can he play at a high level when it means the most is really the question. And I don't know because I haven't ever seen it. And that's probably my answer.
But here's the thing, and I'm going to jump in quickly, then I throw it to you, Mr. Expert. Listen, I don't think we need the Houston James Harden, Ashley. I don't think we need that. We just need him to contribute. Like, I know what you're talking about. You're playing at a high level all year, averaging 30 points in Houston. And then you get in the playoffs, and you can't even hit the side of the damn barn.
I wasn't even asking for Houston James Harden. I just need James Harden to show up in the playoffs.
Okay. But
like,
in the playoffs, what happened was it went from averaging 30 and going 5-6 games in a row, 35 points, 38 points, to like 20, 22. And that's what he needs now. That's the only thing Joel Embiid now. You have the most dominant player in the NBA. You have the MVP sitting right there at your disposal. Yes, you have him right there. Can you just give me 22 consistently? Can you do that?
Can he?
Can you knock down a three-pointer when we need a three-pointer?
That's literally my question. Can he?
Yeah, but not at the high. He don't have to do it.
I don't need Houston
level.
James Harden. I don't need OKC James Harden. I just need James Harden to show up. That's all I'm asking. Just give me something when I actually need it. That's all.
Stack, I'm gonna pass it to you. What's the 76ers ceiling if James Harden is playing at a high level? Championship.
If James Harden can show the consistency that she's talking about, if he can continue to say 25, 28 a game with 8 to 9 assists and show, but not only that, because he can get that, but also show the effort on defense, show that you care a little bit, this team can actually win the championship. But let me tell you this though, he does not show that effort on defense. He puts Embiid, Maxey, and a lot of those guys on defense in a lot of tough situations, and in the playoffs, you can't afford to make the mistakes. And that's one thing he's known of. But B, if he can be the James Harden that you're talking about, yeah, the East is up for grabs.
Okay, but if you go back to James Harden, right? Because you guys, come on, man. I've been telling Ashley this, man. The NBA don't start until the end of March.
That's not true.
I ain't watching no NBA. I ain't watching bro.
That's you. But
ain't
that's
nobody
not
playing
true.
no defense right now. Stack. Ain't nobody playing no defense.
Everybody knows
in January, February,
the
March.
NBA is after the All-Star season.
Stack. Well, go ahead, Stack. Am I right?
Right now, they not, no.
See, that's what I'm saying. So I'm saying all that to say this. If you go back to James Harden when he really wanted it, he got to Brooklyn, Kyrie, KD. Bro, his defense was nice. You couldn't even have a conversation about, how's he going to show up? What is he doing? Bro, he did everything possible. That first year there, if he didn't get hurt, he was probably going to finish in the top 2, top 3 in the MVP voting. Facts, okay? So now what I'm saying is this. Playoffs come, I guarantee he turn it up. I guarantee he turn the defense up. So that's not even a conversation for me. I like James Harden to keep this pace. Corey from
you must know something we don't know.
What you mean? Just watch the game.
He got the
just
script,
watch the
Stack.
Game.
He got the script apparently.
Watch the game. Watch him his first year in
I'm not saying that he hasn't been showing signs of vintage James Harden, and I'm not saying that I need Houston James Harden in the playoffs. I just need his consistency that you're seeing, a fraction of the vintageness that you're seeing to show up when it means the most. That's what I'm saying.
Problems. Okay. Corey from the cut.
All right, so our next tweet is from actually Skip Bayless's partner in crime, Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp, he has showed some love to a fan, Mike Beals, right? Who after the Lakers game yesterday, which they won 113-105 over the Warriors, tweeted, "How about those Lakers?" Right, and then Shannon Sharp quote retweeted, said, "Hey, mofo D."
What's that? What that mean?
Anthony Mother Effin Davis.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So Stack, I'm gonna start with you. Can KD carry? Excuse me.
He's shaking his head already.
Can AD carry the Lakers until LeBron James comes back?
I don't see it happening. I mean, I don't see it. Once again, he just haven't showed me that. Yeah, they won in the bubble, but you know what I'm saying? That was the AAU tournament. That was all about who focused the most. Shit, Denver, Murray had about 50-point games in the bubble.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't seen, you know what I'm saying? So like, it's a lot of stuff was happening that was kind of different in the bubble, man. So I don't really count that. We haven't seen AD be a championship for him. He don't take care of his body. He stay hurt. I remember at one point I was guilty for saying AD is Tim Duncan on steroids. I take that back. I would never compare him to Tim Duncan again. Tim Duncan played every game, hurt or not. He was out there. He did his job, and he did everything every night. So I just don't see AD having that in him. It'll be good to see it, but nah, it ain't going down.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the skill set is not there. I just don't know if the availability is there. I mean, every time AD hits the ground, I feel like you can hear a pin drop in crypto. Like you're just holding your breath for the next injury. And I think that it's unfortunate. And there are some guys who are just injury prone. And I don't know if it's genetics. I don't know if it's something they do in conditioning, but Anthony Davis is just one of those players. And if he weren't, you'd be having a drastically different conversation about him right now. But because that is what we have seen from him so frequently and so many times in multiple seasons, you're kind of like, you're not putting your cash in that stock. You're just not doing it. Like,
all right. So I'm gonna go back to November. Remember what happened in November before he went down? Hey, sometimes it's a little bit of gambling. Sometimes you got to make a little bit of bets, right? You got to make you got to have a little parlay here and there. 24 points, 37 points, 38 points, 30 points. These back-to-back nights, 37 points, 25 points, 25 points, 44 points, 55 points, 31 points, 37 points. Yo, 17 games left, Stack, Ashley. He can hold it down. Listen, all we need is one run. That's all we need. We ain't asking them. We ain't asking them to play through the whole year. Could this be a stretch?
If you ask AD for that now, he ain't gonna give you nothing in the playoffs.
That's all. I'm just answering the question. What Corey from the cut said, can AD carry the Lakers until LeBron James come back? Yes. He did it before. He carried the Lakers at the beginning. Is that when you said he's Tim Duncan on steroids, or was this years ago?
Y'all judging that off the Warriors win, a wounded Warriors. Man, stop it.
Corey from the cut.
Yo, we got a good one coming up next, right? This comes from our very own Ashley Nicole
That's
Moss.
right. Say it with your chest when you say it, too.
Ashley Nicole Moss.
It was a thriller. It was a thriller last night in Boston, right? So the Knicks ended up making it out victorious. And Ashley Nicole tweeted last night, "New York owns you," and she added the Celtics Twitter page there.
Yeah.
Now, question. No, it's only right to start with Ashley. Are the Knicks legit?
Yeah, the Knicks are legit. And for all you people, okay, who were counting us out and saying that we didn't run New York because the Nets had KD, they had Kyrie. They don't have him anymore, do they? Y'all bragging about beating a Charlotte team without Lonzo. LaMelo, wrong ball, brother. Congratulations. We're beating top seeds in the East in double overtime. All right? We got Jalen Brunson. We got Julius Randle, who I did not forget. A lot of y'all were asking for him to be traded. You said he's not an MVP. You said he's not an all-star. Last time I checked, he was an all-star. Last time I checked, he was dropping 43 points here. Last time I checked, he was dropping 35 points here. Last time I checked, all right, the Knicks are on a 9-game win streak. So when you talk about the New York Knicks, for everybody on national media, I see y'all got your little keys and your jokes talking about, the Knicks aren't going to win another one. The Knicks aren't going to win another one. Make sure when you talk about the blue and orange, you put some respect on our name. That's all I'm going to say. Okay? Because New York, we here. What's up?
Hey, the Knicks are playing great right now. They're on a great winning streak, and they still the second or third best basketball team behind St. John's or Syracuse or something like that. It's exciting to see them actually win some games and put some effort in it. You got a coach like Thibodeau that showed more effort in caring about this team the last couple of years than the actual players. So it's good to see them show some fight. It's good to see them let Brunson actually be a court general and control the team and control these young guys and put them in the right spots to succeed. But nobody believes in them in the playoffs. They don't have enough experience. They just they're making it look good. So it's good that the New York fans are happy because it ain't gonna be long.
I think the Knicks come out of the first round though, depending on who their matchup is.
I
do. No, for real. I think depending on who. Why is that funny, Scott? Damn. We beat Boston 3 times this year.
Hey, Stack.
I guarantee you, y'all won't beat Boston in the playoffs.
No, I don't think we see Boston in the playoffs. But if we face a team like a Cleveland, if we face a team like, let me go ahead and look at the standings.
I like Cleveland over the Knicks.
Didn't Spider-Man just have 90 in the Garden or something like that?
Yeah.
If we face a team like right now, Miami's fighting for a spot. If we end up facing a team like Miami, if we end up facing
you know the problem?
Miami has too much experience for New York.
There you go.
Last time I checked, Miami's struggling.
Jimmy been chilling.
Miami's been struggling.
Because Jimmy been chilling.
He hasn't been chilling. They've been losing.
Hey, Stack, is this?
They just got Kevin Love, too. They're a playoff team.
They still been losing.
Stack, could this be the biggest challenge for the Knicks that any team coming to the Garden, you're going to get their best game, right? Their best players. They're trying to be the next one to drop 50, 60 in the Garden in front of the celebrities and Spike Lee sitting there. Is that one of their biggest challenges?
Man, the Knicks can be 0-26, but when you go play in that Garden, that's going to be your biggest game of the season probably. Just being in that atmosphere, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter who on their team. It's just you playing in the Garden.
Right.
That's one of the most exciting arenas to play in.
Okay. All right, Corey from the block. So I want to say this before we move on. Thank you to our sponsor, one of our brand partners, Celsius. You know, obviously, when you guys subscribe to our show, when you guys check in with us, you know, week in and week out, it keeps the show going. It fuels us. You know, there's obviously a business behind it. So thank you guys for rocking. There's a statistic out there that 70% of the people that watch the show, they're not even subscribers. And that's on every channel, whether it's All the Smoke or if it's I Am Athlete. Make sure you guys subscribe to us and keep showing love so we can continue to bring you guys the biggest names in sports and hip hop and entertainment and business. So thank you guys so much there. We got one more word on the tweet. And then that's going to be the show for today. I felt like today was really good. Today was really good. I feel like I won a debate on basketball. I feel like I was the strongest analyst. No, but Corey from the cut, what we got, man? Land the plane for us, man. We got a couple more we done.
Yeah. So no more tweets, but we're gonna transition to our Fact or Foolish segment, right? So Stack, you should have some fun with this. This is your first time on.
Right.
But what I'm gonna do is gonna read you guys a statement. You have to determine whether it's fact or foolish, and then you just have to explain why. So here's our first one. And actually, I'm gonna start with Ashley.
Okay.
Kyrie will stay in Dallas with Luka and build a legacy. Fact or foolish?
No. Kyrie's going to LA the first he gets. Are you guys crazy? He didn't want to go to Dallas in the first place. Josiah sent him there out of spite. You think he's going to build a legacy in Dallas? You're crazy. He's going to try to go to LA by any means.
Stack.
Facts, but it depends on their season. You got to remember they got D'Angelo Russ over there, so it's going to be harder to get Kyrie now because he makes a lot of money too. He only stays in Dallas if they have a great season this year. If not, I agree with her. He's going to do anything he can to get to Dallas. To LA.
Yeah, this is fact for me. Kyrie stays there. We like to talk about dating on this show. 1 week, dating topics was prevalent for us. Look, he went on a blind date. It was unexpected. He fell in love, right? Was it that they both dropped, was it 30-something points, 40 points? Was that the first time the NBA have ever seen, a tandem do that?
Was it a blind date or a pity date? It was
a pity date.
Difference of those.
Yeah, it was a fact for me because I feel like Kyrie's there. He fell in love. Remember that first moment after his first game, he walks out of the arena and he walks home and he has that Ali moment where he had the whole crowd just walking with him and he's signing autographs with his little staff stick. He's staying.
His staff stick?
I don't know what it is. He got going on.
Okay.
All right, next one. Giannis Antetokounmpo will go down as the most dominant player in NBA history next to or foolish.
Foolish. That's putting him above people like Hakeem. That's putting him above people like Wilt, Kareem,
Paul Pierce.
Paul Pierce. I think he'll go down as one of the best, as one of the most dominant. There's a whole list of people who I put dominant before I get to Giannis. That's not negating him, but I think maybe top 15. Maybe.
Oh, okay.
I don't think top 15, top 20 is an egregious stretch, but top 5 there's a lot of people that come before him for that one. So.
Michael Jordan, Tim Duncan.
What do you think,
Kareem
Stack? You think top
Abdul-Jabbar.
5 dominant of all time when it's all said and done?
I think it's fact because he's
What?
already the second most dominant player behind Shaq right now.
Wow. Why? Can you peel back the layers a little bit?
Well, it's really this simple. Sit down and watch all the big men. He's not the most skilled. He doesn't have the most championships. He's not Tim Duncan. He's not Akeem Olajuwon as far as offensively. But when you look at the minutes and what he does between the lines in those minutes, as far as what he does for his teams, rebounding, defensive, scoring, assists, he is the most dominant player every time he's on the court, regardless if it's AD, Braun, whoever's on the court. He's the most dominant player, and he's been there for every game for the last 7-8 years. So, he's the most dominant player since Shaq. I mean, even agree with it because Shaq even said it.
Listen, super excited about Paper Route. We got our boy Stack with us. You know what I mean?
I'm back. I'm happy to be with y'all, man.
Man, this is dope, bro.
Hey,
let me ask you a question. Do you want to talk a little football too? You just want to talk basketball?
I'm here. What you mean? Let's go.
Okay. Hey, let me ask you a question before we dip. This is the cool thing about being YouTubers. We're YouTubers now.
No, I got to correct you. I did play for the Atlanta Hawks 1 year. I heard you say earlier, did he play for the Atlanta Hawks?
Yep.
I did. 1 year.
See, I'm a historian. What is it? Historian? An NBA historian?
Ready, get your question off.
Ryan Garcia and Javante Tank Davis. Who do you like? Because you have your boxing show. Can you give us a little bit about that? It's on Showtime, right?
Yeah, I do all the weigh-ins too, so I'll be doing the Garcia Davis weigh-in as well. I'm going with Tank. This is going to be one of his most difficult fights because Ryan is bigger than him. Ryan is not afraid, and Ryan hand speed is something special. And Tank knows that. But once again, I think Tank has been one of the best boxers in the game the last 4 years of setting traps. Guys think he's small and he don't understand the game, but he's a great boxer, and he's been setting traps. So he's going to set a trap for Ryan. Ryan going to come in reaching, and he's going to lean into one of them haymakers, and it's going to be night-night.
Hey, listen, Tank been setting traps since he was 7 years old. I'm going to show y'all a clip of Tank setting traps. Hey, man, I don't think it's going to be close, bro. Tank's about to go on a legendary run. But look, thank you guys so much for rocking with us. Ashley, Nicole Moss.
I thought you wanted to ask Stack a football question. Did you want to ask?
No, I wanted to see, we got Stack coming back every single week, right? At least through basketball season. But we'll see. Stack loved talking football. He loved talking boxing. I was just asking him if he wanted to talk a little Lamar, if he want to talk a little Dak Prescott in the future. If he does,
leave Dak Prescott alone.
I'm a Cowboy fan, so I can't wait to talk about that.
You and me here. You and me here.
Yeah,
subscribe, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, MySpace. Make sure you go to All the Smoke. Support my boys too. We love you, and we see y'all tomorrow. Peace.